Elsewhere, 4 girls in battle gear are engaged in a fierce fight against metallic creatures. As the battle turns against them, they decide to retreat. While maneuvering their vehicle away, they collide with something unexpected. Sensors reveal they've hit a human. Looking through the window, they see a girl dressed in assassin-like clothing lying unconscious. Despite being under attack, they agree they must help her. The team quickly changes into their LBX battle uniforms and heads toward the girl. Riko and her friend Mana find themselves back in Tokyo after being away for some time. They head to a bustling shopping district, enjoying the familiar sights and sounds. As they walk through the busy streets, a shop window catches Riko's attention with its colorful display. Her eyes light up at the sight of LBX toys showcased in the front. She excitedly points them out to Mana, expressing her desire to buy one as a gift for her father. Mana checks her watch and tells Riko she has somewhere to be, suggesting they meet back at the same spot later. Riko carefully chooses a model that resembles an assassin character, purchases it, and takes a seat near the entrance to wait for Mana. While waiting, she examines her new LBX toy, running her fingers over the detailed craftsmanship. Suddenly, a strange sensation washes over her. The world around her blurs and spins, and before she can make sense of it, she's falling from the sky into an unfamiliar place. Riko regains consciousness and leaps into action. Drawing 2 guns from her sides, she fires at the mechanical enemies known as mimesis. The girls watch in awe as Riko fights with surprising skill. They wonder if she's seeking revenge, but the mimesis strike back, sending Riko crashing into a building. Though hurt, she rises and continues firing until her ammo runs out. One of the girls rushes in, grabs her arm, and pulls her to safety. Together, they retreat to a secure location to rest. Later, as they sit eating noodles, Riko tries to understand what's happening and asks about Mana. One of the girls explains that Riko has been transported to their world, where humanity is under constant threat from the mimesis. They are called Armor Girls, warriors who use LBX technology in battle, and believe Riko is one of them based on her outfit and skills. As they talk, Riko spots a sign that says Tokorozawa and excitedly mentions it's her hometown. But one of the girls gently explains that this Tokorozawa is not the same as the one Riko knows. After finishing their meal, the girls lead Riko to their vehicle and they drive toward their base. After their initial encounter, the girls take Riko to a hot spring to help her relax. As they soak in the warm, soothing water, Riko speaks wistfully about Tokorozawa, telling them it's where she lives. The girls gently explain that returning home isn't possible at the moment, as no method has been found to send her back to her world. The news overwhelms Riko and she breaks down in tears, crying until she becomes physically ill. One of the girls kindly brings her a glass of water to help her calm down. After their time at the hot spring, the group boards the same vehicle and heads out on a shopping trip. During the ride, Riko wakes from a short nap, prompting the girls to introduce themselves. Yui is the first to speak, followed by Kyuka, Suzuno, and Miharu. After learning their names and where they're from, Riko introduces herself in return. When they arrive at their destination, Riko notices a large statue of an armor girl in the central plaza. Curious, she asks about it, and the girls explain solemnly that it honors a fallen comrade who died fighting the mimesis. The explanation gives Riko a deeper understanding of the dangers they face. Despite the somber moment, they continue with their shopping. The group splits up temporarily and Riko pairs off with Kyuka. As they browse, Kyuka shows her some precious stones used as currency. She explains that these gems are collected from defeated mimesis, forming the basis of their economy. Meanwhile, outside the shopping area, a group of men discusses rumors that the armor girls retreated during their last battle. Concerned, they wonder what that means for the safety of the settlement. As the girls approach, the men invite them to join their conversation, offering food as an incentive. Riko's eyes light up at the sight of the delicious dishes. Just before they eat, Kyuka addresses the men's concerns, confirming that they did retreat because the battle was too difficult to win. She adds that the soldiers who aided them lost their lives. One man angrily demands the armor girls stay and protect the settlement, citing the sacrifice of their men. Kyuka respectfully declines, explaining that they must continue their mission as other bases are under attack. The man grows angrier, but another intervenes, suggesting they shouldn't rely solely on the armor girls. Frustrated, the first man grabs a cake and storms off, only to return and place it back down. Suddenly, an alarm sounds, warning of incoming mimesis. The man advises the girls not to fight, but Kyuka insists they will, since they are there. After the tense exchange, the girls step outside to plan their next move. As they talk, Suzuno realizes Riko is missing. Elsewhere, Riko approaches the angry man, offering him the cake he had taken. She admits she doesn't know much about the world world or the ongoing conflict. The man responds sincerely, telling her that despite everything, she still has the freedom to choose her path. Later, Riko returns to her friends. They enjoy a meal she has prepared, praising how delicious it is. After dinner, they play a lighthearted game of rock, paper, scissors. When it's time to clean up, Riko volunteers to do the dishes, but finds there's no water from the tap. Kyuka joins her, and the two step outside. Under the starlit sky, they gaze at the statue of the fallen armor girl and quietly reflect on their situation. The alarm wails as waves of mimesis bear down on the settlement. Undeterred, the armor girls brace for combat. The captain grimly identifies the attackers as spider-type mimesis, the same breed that slew their fallen comrade, and warns that intelligence suggests they have come seeking vengeance. A battle plan takes shape. Each fighter is assigned a post, and Riko, despite her nerves, is placed at the front. Her task is to spot and eliminate the Master Mimesis directing the swarm. When the fighting erupts, the veterans pick off the smaller machines with practiced precision, while Riko waits, trembling for her target. At last, the massive spider appears. She fires again and again, only to see her bullets bounce harmlessly off its armor. Forced to withdraw, the team regroups to devise a new strategy. As they confer, the young man from earlier enters, carrying a specialized weapon once wielded by the deceased armor girl. When Kyuka reaches for it, he draws back, grief etched on his face, and leaves with the weapon, declaring they could never grasp his feelings. Determined to avenge his beloved, he speeds toward the battlefield. The 5 armor girls follow. Amid the chaos, memories of the fallen warrior steel the young man's resolve. He rejoins Kyuka, gravely wounded in the abdomen, but together they coordinate a final assault. Their combined strike shatters the Master Mimesis in a brilliant explosion of light and metal. Moments later, the young man succumbs to his injuries, a peaceful expression on his face, as though reunited with the one he loved. Quietly victorious, the armor girls return to their temporary base and share a muted meal of noodles, the weight of the battle heavy on every heart. After the exhausting battle with the spider-type mimesis, the armor girls continue their journey toward Kyoto. They cross nearly 8 bridges, but despite the progress, a long road still lies ahead. After hours on the road, fatigue and hunger set in, prompting them to stop at a roadside rest area for a meal. They unpack containers of noodles from their supplies, expecting a satisfying break. However, they're quickly met with disappointment. The noodles are overwhelmingly spicy, saturated with pepper. Most of the girls struggle to eat them. Riko at first remains upbeat, excited by the prospect of finally reaching Kyoto. Suddenly, a mysterious man appears and, without asking, begins collecting the abandoned noodles from each of the girls. To their surprise, he eats all of them effortlessly, completely unfazed by the intense spiciness. The girls exchange bewildered glances, puzzled by the stranger's tolerance. Before they can dwell on the odd encounter, a message comes through instructing them to dispose of all their mimesis cores, as retaining them may draw more of the mechanical creatures. The order unsettles the group. Discarding such valuable resources feels both wasteful and counterintuitive. But when they open the storage compartment, they're stunned to find the same mysterious man sleeping on top of their stash of cores. Startled and irritated, they promptly force him out. Despite the rocky introduction, the man offers to take them to his home. Once there, he explains that he has a secure place where the cores can be stored safely, without attracting mimesis. Inside, the girls notice his workspace is filled with LBX parts and tools. Curious, they ask about his identity and involvement in the conflict. He reveals that he specializes in building and customizing LBXs specifically for armor girls. Seizing the opportunity for a break, Riko asks if they can use his facilities to bathe and wash their clothes. He agrees, and after freshening up, the team gathers around the table to enjoy a dinner Riko prepares. Impressed by the meal, the man praises her cooking and finally introduces himself as Ota Cross. In a moment of keen insight, he analyzes each of the girls. He identifies Kyuka as the dependable leader, Yui as the energetic morale booster, Miharu as the capable and self-reliant member, and Suzuno as the team's strategist. Later, as the girls prepare to sleep, they find Autocross already curled up on the futon. With playful persistence, they manage to reclaim their sleeping space. Before settling in, they enjoy a lighthearted pillow fight, releasing the tension of their recent ordeals. While the girls sleep soundly, Autocross stays up through the night, working diligently intently on enhancements for the Armor Girls mission. The next morning, as the team gets ready to head out, they mention an ongoing issue with their vehicle's navigation system. It hasn't been showing maps or spatial data, leaving them disoriented. Autocross points to a simple button that activates those features. The girls stare in disbelief, realizing the issue was a result of overlooking an obvious solution. With renewed direction and spirits lifted, the Armor Girls bid farewell to their eccentric new ally and continue on their journey to Kyoto. The Armor Girls press on toward Kyoto, excitement building as they drive. They chat about what awaits them in the ancient capital, its renowned castles and timeless architecture, while Riko stays buried in a book that everyone assumes is about history. When asked, she admits she actually knows little about Kyoto's past. She has been reading a recipe book the entire time. Even so, she is eager to explore the city with her new friends. After hours on the road, they finally arrive, only to find Kyoto's streets eerily empty. A local informant explains that residents and refugees have fled to the southern districts because mimesis activity has spiked in the center and north. Undeterred, the girls roam the silent city, snapping photos and sharing a quiet meal. Riko notices Suzuno's silence and worries she has upset her, but the others assure her that Suzuno is simply naturally reserved. Relieved, Riko joins in their lighthearted chatter. Turning to the mission, they plan how to counter the mimesis threat. Miharu volunteers for reconnaissance, while Riko stays behind to cook a proper meal. Reaching the danger zone, Miharu scouts the mechanical creatures from afar, then rides an elevator to an upper floor of a nearby building. As the doors open, an elderly woman greets her, saying she has awaited an Armor Girl's arrival. The woman reveals a massive device, the hyperdimensional energy concentration system built to fight the mimesis. She explains it must be moved to Laboratory 5, but its tremendous weight means it can be transported only when several Armor Girls are together, and Kyoto's unusually high space-time levels make the city the ideal place for its creation. Learning that Miharu came alone, the woman urges her to contact her team at once. Back at their makeshift base, the others wait restlessly. Riko finishes cooking, glancing toward the door in hopes of Miharu's return. An alarm suddenly blares, signaling incoming mimesis, and Miharu calls with urgent news about the hyperdimensional system. Without hesitation, the four girls transform into their LBX battlesuits and take to the sky, only to be stunned by what they see. Countless mimesis surging from every direction, converging in a coordinated assault of unprecedented scale. With the threat of the mimesis looming, the Armor Girls quickly formulate a battle plan under Suzuno's strategic leadership. She calmly assigns each member their role, expertly leveraging their individual strengths to maximize their effectiveness against the mechanical enemies. The team listens intently, nodding in agreement as they prepare to carry out the well-devised strategy. Upon arriving at the battlefield, Riko is struck by a sudden flashback, memories of conversations with her friend Mana about visiting Kyoto. A wave of disappointment washes over her as she compares the ruined landscape to the beautiful, historic city she once dreamed of exploring. Noticing her expression, Kyuka gently reminds her that this version of Kyoto is very different from the one in her world, offering a quiet sense of comfort amidst the chaos. The battle begins with fierce intensity. The Armor Girls fight with synchronized precision, taking down numerous mimesis units and collecting valuable cores to sustain their operations. Their success, however, is soon challenged as massive mimesis units begin to close in. At this critical moment, Miharu appears, accompanied by the elderly woman from the lab. To everyone's astonishment, the old woman suddenly transforms into a petite Armor Girl, her age fading away to reveal a seasoned warrior. With masterful skill, she unleashes a devastating assault using her LBX, swiftly destroying the giant enemies as the team watches in awe. After her impressive display, she bids them farewell, cryptically stating that she will be waiting for them to continue their mission. Before they can process what just happened, another colossal mimesis rises from the rubble, forcing the team back into combat. Uniting their weapons, the girls unleash a powerful combined blast that takes a heavy toll on their energy reserves, causing 4 of them to collapse from exhaustion. Only Riko remains standing, now burdened with the responsibility of facing the enemy alone. Despite her inexperience, Riko fights with determination. Just as hope seems lost, their vehicle arrives, allowing them to recover their unconscious teammates and the vital hyperdimensional switch before making a hasty escape. As the car speeds away, the mimesis give chase, drawing dangerously close. With everyone else still unconscious, Riko positions herself at the rear of the vehicle, continuing to fire desperately at their pursuers. Then, without warning, the mimesis begin to explode one after another. Riko watches in disbelief as the enemies vanish into debris. After their exhausting clash with the Mimesis, the armor girls sit down for a much-needed meal. While they slurp their first bowls of noodles, a newscast on a nearby screen reports that yesterday's anti-Mimesis bomb detonated because certain armor girls were battling nearby. The team trades knowing looks, then immediately orders a second round of noodles to refuel. When the new bowls arrive, the girls notice Suzuno has vanished. They spot her in a far corner, eating alone and emotionally distant. Before anyone can approach, she slips away to the team's vehicle and instructs the onboard AI to drive her to an undisclosed location. Asked whether her teammates know she's leaving, Suzuno tersely replies that she's traveling alone. Meanwhile, the others realize their wallet is still in the car. Stuffed from their meal, they struggle to stand, so the least full member, Riko, volunteers to retrieve it. She finds Suzuno near the immobilized vehicle. Suzuno quickly claims the car needs repairs and has been summoned for maintenance with no return time given. Riko accepts the story, and the team decides to explore the area until the vehicle is ready. They board a train, eating yet another serving of noodles en route to a nearby town. After a proper restaurant stop, they wander until they reach a scenic spot accessible only by a small carriage that glides across a wide gap. While Riko and Suzuno push the carriage to the launch point, Riko apologizes for any offense she may have caused. Suzuno tells her she's done nothing wrong, yet her gaze briefly shifts, as if she sees someone else's face overlaying Riko's. Riko, eager for friendship, stresses the bond forming within the team. Suzuno coldly answers that she has no friends. Her sole goal is to destroy the Mimesis and return to her own world. Rejoining the others, Riko confides in Kyuka, who explains that Suzuno's aloofness is simply her nature, and suggests Riko adapt rather than take it personally. Their journey ends at a beautiful beach, where Riko approaches Suzuno with 2 plates of noodles as a peace offering. Suzuno declines, until her stomach growls loud enough to betray her. Smiling, Riko sits, and the two share their noodles in unexpected camaraderie. Suzuno reveals she grew up relocating constantly because of her parents' work, making lasting friendships nearly impossible. Riko listens with empathy. Later, back in their now repaired vehicle and once again devouring noodles, an alarm suddenly blares. Mimesis inbound. The girls scramble for their LBX suits, only to discover their non-stop feasting has left them too plump to squeeze into their armor. The armor girls continue their journey, marveling as their vehicle transforms into a seafaring vessel, gliding smoothly across the water. To pass the time, Riko suggests they strike up a conversation. Inside the cabin, however, tension rises when Kyuka accuses Yui of eating her share of noodles. Yui defends herself, claiming she was simply hungry, but the disagreement quickly escalates into a heated argument. Eventually, they reach a junction where they must choose their next route. Yui confidently suggests one direction, but Kyuka overrides her, instructing the system to take a different path. The decision deepens the friction between the two headstrong teammates as they continue forward. After some time along Kyuka's chosen route, they arrive at a location that demands immediate attention. The girls swiftly suit up in their LBX armor, preparing for a potential confrontation. Suzuno takes point, flying ahead to scout the area, and spots what appears to be a dead Mimesis lying still on the ground. Upon closer inspection, she realizes with alarm that it is not dead. It harbors multiple smaller Mimesis units within its massive frame. As the team approaches, the creature emits a strange, unsettling sound and suddenly releases its hidden swarm. The sound creates a jamming effect, disrupting both communications and targeting systems. During the battle, Kyuka suddenly freezes upon recognizing a specific type of Mimesis among the attackers. Recognizing Kyuka's condition, the team makes the tactical decision to retreat. Back aboard the ship, they lay the unconscious Kaoka in bed. The medical system advises they let her rest undisturbed. As they anxiously wait for her to recover, Riko prepares 5 containers of noodles, only to realize Kyuka is still unconscious. The girls decide to split the extra portion, but when they return to the food, one container has mysteriously vanished. Looking up, they spot Autocross perched in an overhead nook, happily eating the missing noodles. Between bites, he explains that he had something important to share and had been secretly following their vehicle. His unexpected appearance brings a moment of comic relief amid their concern for Kyuka. Later that night, Kyuka wakes to find Autocross nearby. She quietly opens up about her earlier breakdown, revealing that the Mimesis they encountered was the same type that once slaughtered her entire squad. Though she had vowed to destroy it, she admits to being terrified. Autocross listens silently and offers her a cup of water in support. The next morning, the mood aboard the ship shifts. Renewed determination fills the air as the team prepares to face the Mimesis again. They carefully assign roles and responsibilities for the coming battle. Autocross joins joins Riko, helping her operate a massive cannon designed to deliver explosive damage. Seeing Kyuka's lingering fear, Yui promises to defeat the creature that has haunted their leader. As the battle begins, Yui soars high above the battlefield. The Mimesis emits its disruptive sound again, jamming her systems, but she presses on, pushing her LBX beyond its limits. When swarmed by smaller units, she activates her attack fraction maneuver, unleashing devastating explosions among the enemy. Meanwhile, Riko, guided by Otacross, takes aim and launches a powerful bomb directly at the giant Mimesis, an attack that could shift the tide of the battle. Yui launches her attack against the Mimesis as the others watch with bated breath. Overhead, the bomb Riko deployed continues its trajectory, ready to strike. Yui maneuvers skillfully through the air, dodging and landing blows, but the Mimesis retaliates with unexpected force, sending her crashing to the ground. Concern flashes across her teammates' faces as they call out to her, unsure if she's alright. To their relief, Yui rises once more, determination burning in her eyes. She resumes the assault with renewed energy. Meanwhile, Riko's bomb makes a second attempt at impact but narrowly misses its target. The resulting explosion shakes the battlefield, leaving the team anxious about Yui's safety. Through the smoke and debris, her voice cuts through the chaos. She confirms the bomb missed, and now it's up to her to try again. Her teammates plead for her to retreat, but Yui stands firm. She insists that backing down now would jeopardize their goal and complicate the mission. With resolve, she soars higher, preparing for another strike despite the overwhelming odds. Watching from a distance, Kyuka is flooded with painful memories of past losses. Though still recovering, she decides to join the battle. The system initially denies her request, citing her condition, but Otacross, understanding her need to face this enemy, overrides the restriction and sets her free. Back in the fray, Yui becomes the focus of the Mimesis counterattack. It unleashes smaller units that explode around her position, forcing her to confront visions from her past world. Despite the emotional toll, she refuses to give up. But just as the Mimesis prepares to deliver a decisive blow, Yui's LBXs abruptly disengage, leaving her exposed. In the final moment, Kyuka arrives, swooping in to rescue Yui from the impending strike. After ensuring Yui is safe, she takes to the sky and focuses her attacks on the Mimesis' head, launching a relentless assault that triggers a series of explosions across its body. Supporting from a distance, Riko sends additional bombs to aid in the offensive. Kyuka fights with everything she has. After several intense moments, one of Riko's bombs lands a direct hit, triggering a massive explosion that consumes the Mimesis. The system transporting the girls submits a detailed report to the command base overseeing their mission. The document carefully outlines the team's development since their formation, analyzing their encounters with various Mimesis entities and the strategies they use to overcome these powerful foes. A significant highlight of the report is the battle in which an elderly woman intervened at a critical moment, helping them defeat a massive Mimesis. Without her unexpected support, the outcome might have been drastically different. Still, the commanders reiterate the mission's primary focus, the acquisition of the Switch, now in the girls' possession. In response, the system provides a thorough explanation of the Switch's purpose and relevance to the mission's success. Suddenly, an emergency alert interrupts the debriefing. Mimesis units are closing in on the team's location. When the base requests their current status, the system replies that the girls have been granted time to eat and recover from their recent battle. The report resumes with an assessment of their most recent confrontation, where they successfully brought down a colossal Mimesis that had threatened their lives. Against overwhelming odds, all 5 girls survived, continuing their perfect survival record across every mission. Their resilience and adaptability are praised as defining traits of this extraordinary unit. One of the base officers requests a visual update on the team's condition. The system responds by transmitting images of the girls during their meal. After reviewing the photos, the officer makes a grim remark. The girls wouldn't be smiling so freely if they knew what awaited them in the next stage of their mission. As the girls board their system and continue their journey to headquarters, they grow increasingly concerned as the Switch nears its time limit. The unexpected situation leaves them anxious about how they will explain it to the operation leaders. Despite their worry, they eventually arrive at headquarters and immediately bow an apology for the compromised Switch. To their surprise, a woman and a lady approach with calm reassurance rather than reprimand. The officials explain that the Switch's condition isn't a major concern, as they can analyze its software directly. Soon after, the girls reboard their system and set off for their next destination. During the journey, the system informs them that many other groups have reached this stage of the mission, with armored units currently locked in combat. Still, the girls are considered fortunate to have advanced this far. The system goes on to outline their most critical task, to place the Switch at a designated location, which will trigger the disappearance of all Mimesis entities. Elsewhere, a man and a woman discuss the possibility that once the Mimesis are gone, the girls may return to their original worlds. This adds a bittersweet layer to their mission's potential success. Eventually, the team arrives at a castle where they take time to rest. Over tea, the girls share heartfelt conversations about their homeworlds. Aware that their time together may be ending, they express their hopes of meeting again one day. Before heading to bed, they decide to play a quick game of rock, paper, scissors, which Rico wins with cheerful excitement. Their lighthearted moment is abruptly cut short by an alarm signaling the approach of Mimesis forces. Responding to the urgent threat, the system car arrives to collect them, perhaps for their final battle together. The girls descend onto the battlefield by parachute, landing straight into danger. Without hesitation, they begin to run as the Mimesis creatures close in behind them. Rico, who struggles with running, stumbles and falls behind, but her teammates quickly help her to her feet, allowing them to continue their escape together. Just when the situation appears dire, Autocross arrives in a car, urgently calling out for them to get in. Seizing the opportunity, the girls immediately transform into their LBX forms and shift from fleeing to fighting, launching a coordinated assault on the approaching Mimesis. Despite their efforts, the creatures grow more aggressive and numerous. Amid the escalating battle, Autocross provides tactical support from the vehicle as the girls fire at their relentless pursuers. During this chaos, Suzuno chooses the moment to make a heartfelt confession to Rico. She admits that her earlier distance came from fear of losing Rico, because when she looks into Rico's eyes, she sees her best friend from her original world. The revelation helps Rico understand that Suzuno truly sees her as a best friend, deepening their bond in the middle of the chaos. Meanwhile, the mission commanders observe the battle from afar, discussing the team's progress. They clarify that the objective is not to eliminate all Mimesis, but to reduce their numbers to a manageable level. This new understanding subtly shifts the girls' perspective on their mission as they continue to fight. Suddenly, an urgent broadcast cuts through their comms. A giant Mimesis is descending from above. Moments later, the enormous creature lands, shaking the battlefield with its arrival. Covered in numerous eyes, it presents a terrifying challenge. It launches an overwhelming assault, forcing the girls into a defensive formation as they search for any sign of weakness. When the creature damages the robot aiding the girls, they rally and press their attack, taking advantage of brief distractions in the monster's behavior. In a bold move, Rico activates her attack mode and ascends high above the battlefield. Timing her strike perfectly, she delivers a powerful blow to the monster's weak spot. The impact triggers a massive chain reaction, and the giant Mimesis begins to explode. As the blast erupts, the other girls rush to Rico and pull her away just in time. In the next instant, the scene shifts dramatically. Rico finds herself in a familiar shop, with Mana approaching to ask about a gift Rico has just bought.